Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show at Rise Up Show with me, your host, the Queen Bee, Dani. How are you feeling? As we chat this morning to the devilishly handsome, the fabulously wonderful, the incredibly knowledgeable Mr. Fidel Hill, the modern man. Good morning. Jodie Salt, good morning. Fabna Reddy, good morning. Elise Woodbine, good morning. The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon, good morning, sir.
Shut up, for f***'s sake. Jesus.
The fantastic Lizzie Jackson Barrett, good morning. Josephine Sandra, everybody, good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. Oh, my goodness. What a weird week. It's bank holiday week, isn't it? So it's like, kind of feels here, there, and everywhere. But it really has felt like that this week. We had the incredible Mastermind takeover yesterday. We had bank holiday Monday. Like, I had bank holiday Monday off. And then a bank holiday Tuesday, because I decided, like the Queen, I was going to have a 4-day bank holiday, which is quite cool. Has anybody seen the news? Next year, this time next year, or around the 22nd of June next year, we have a 4-day bank holiday. So I'm already planning something amazing to do during that time. I'm very, very excited. If the Queen's having a 4-day bank holiday, and you bet your backside, bet your bum, that this Queen's gonna as well. How are you doing, everybody? Get on in here. Let's have a cuddle, shake your bum. It's Friday. We made it. How are we all doing? Are we feeling good? Joe Gilbert, good morning. Thank God it's Friday. Yay, it's Friday. Absolutely it is. Amy Blaney, good morning. Good morning to you. I hope you're all good. It's been half term. How are you all doing this half term? How many weeks have your guys got off for half term? So we've got a mixed bag up in this house. We've got Poppy, who's been just off this week. And then next week, we've got Ivy and Daisy off again for another week. So that was a curveball I wasn't expecting. I should pay more attention to these things. But I didn't realize until maybe halfway through this week that actually my small ones, I've got 2 weeks holidays, the jammy sods. How very dare they? So yeah, it is... it's beautiful outside. Who's sad? Who's giving a sad face? Susan, are you sad? Or is it an accidental sad face? I shall let you off. Good morning, Susan Hutton, by the way. If you are watching along, please do let me know where you're watching from. Welcome to the Show Up, Rise Up Show with me, your host, Dani Wallace. I am the Queen Bee, as are you, or the King, or the Royal Bee, because it is a reclamation statement. It's not a statement that just belongs to me. It belongs to you lot too. It's June. We are firmly now we're not even in the DMs of June. We're just like in and around June now, which means that at the end of this month, the Summer Swarm is happening. We are nearly sold out at 3 of our venues for the Summer Swarm. For Glasgow, for Manchester, and for London, they're almost sold out. We've got Glastonbury, and we've also got Birmingham on the cards as well. We've taken Norwich and Newcastle off, so that we're just going to fill up this side just here, and then London over that side. So if you do want to get a place on the Summer Swarm, the strategy sessions, that's a lot of alliterations with the word S. The Summer Swarm strategy sessions that I am going to be running in real life across the country at the end of June, beginning of July. You're going to want to make sure you get your place before all of the spaces fill up. So I will be sharing in the hive today links of how you can get involved with that. That's 349 excluding VAT. To come onto those incredible days. There is swag, there is food, of course, there's your girl there, and then there is this whole mini mastermind situation that we create in the day. For those of you that went on the bee treat will attest to the fact that days out with the Queen Bee are pretty special. I'll make sure you are very loved on, and also that you get all of the strategy and focus that you need for the next part of the year. So enough of that. We have a very special guest on this morning. I'm very excited. Yesterday, Natasha Bray's Storymind Mastermind joined us here on the show. And it was a marathon show. We ran over a couple of hours. And the book, where has it gone? was dipping into it yesterday. The book When Women Heal came out. Incredible collaboration book featuring 16 beautiful stories from across the globe about what happens to women leaders when they do healing. Now, that was a bumper show, and I got to interview everyone for just a couple of minutes. So you can imagine, I just do a quick whip round and just see how everyone was feeling and everyone was doing. And there's this lady who is on the show today who I get to speak to at a little bit more length, which I'm really excited about. So she is known as the Queen of Clarity. She helps people really nail their niche and their message in ways that I haven't seen before. She's absolutely wonderful. Please welcome to the show, Rise Up show this morning, Shamoni Gilani, the Queen of Clarity. Good morning.
Hey, Dani, lovely to see you. Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome.
Obviously heard so much about your show, and it's that day has arrived. And what a day to join you when we've become an international bestseller. So thank you so much.
You are so welcome, and congratulations.
I didn't last, but I got to come in as the international bestseller. So there's a win for being at the end.
Yeah, and it's like yesterday on the show, because there were so many people in the live. I was like trying to click everyone in. So when you're driving StreamYard like this with so many people, you're like spinning all the plates, and you came in a blaze of glory yesterday, just as we announced that you'd become bestsellers. How are you feeling about that, Shamoni?
Oh my God,
huge achievement.
Absolutely. Well, it's just a really strange and amazing feeling. Like, is it really real? Is it like it is real? I gotta pinch myself, but it happened, We put a lot of hard work in over the past 6 months, all of us. And I think it wasn't just, like I said yesterday, like it wasn't just our hands that were working, like it was our hearts. Our hearts, our souls, and our tears, everything.
Of which there's a lot when you're writing like that. There's a lot of tears. There's a lot of like you're peeling back the layers. You're seeing bits of yourself sort of on paper that you've only felt before. You've not really experienced apart from when you've been in the moment. And there's a lot that goes on there. And you and I have known each other for a couple of years now.
We've been in the same. We were on the mastermind together, but I think we never really got to know each other properly, did we?
No.
So, but this is what better time than now. I got to see your energy, and it was I got to see who you were, but we didn't really get to properly get to know each other. But I'm looking forward to just getting it going from now.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, what better way to meet and connect and hook up with your mates than live on Facebook in front of everybody else? Is kind of how I live my life, Shamoni. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I get to see you in your glory. So amazing. Thank you for having me. Appreciate all the love and warm welcome.
You are so welcome. So congratulations on becoming a bestseller.
Thank you so much.
B, your work really sits beautifully right alongside the work that I do in the public speaking sector.
I've heard a lot about you, when people say, oh, well, I worked with Dani on the statement. I was like, okay, well, let's just take it to the next level.
Yeah, exactly that. Because your work goes even deeper than, creating messages to share on stage, speaking about your business and mission message. Yours, it sits around what often a lot of people struggle with, and that's clarity around their niche, clarity around how they talk about their business. Tell us a little bit more about what you do, Shamoni.
Yeah, sure, of course. I'll be very happy to. Thank you. So this is where I get to model what I do, right? Because exactly, people ask me, what is it that you do? Well, I say, well, I'm the person who helps you to say what you do.
Right?
If you're wondering. So what I do is I help heart-centered coaches to get total clarity and alignment with their perfect niche, message, and copy, so they can stand out, get known, and attract their soul clients with ease. That's my thing, and I do what I do because I really have seen that, I struggled with my own clarity for 10 years, not one, not two, not three, not 6 months. Yes,
it's like a decade of trying to get it right. It's a long thing.
decade of stress, decade of staying up all night. Like, what could it be? Figuring it out. And here's what I say to people: it's just not worth it. Don't figure it out. Yes, you and I probably didn't have amazing clarity experts. We may have had other coaches and mentors, but we had to, like, you know, put the piece of the puzzle together to work out our own clarity. Well, I say, well, don't suffer like the way we did. We've done the 10. I say, I've done the 10 years, so you don't have to. Yes?
Right, exactly that.
So now, like, oh, I'm still struggling. It's been 5 years. It's been 6 years. It's been 30 years, and I'm about to give up because I still can't. I've had so much heart to want to change people's lives, but I simply can't put to words what I want to do. And people don't see my value. And so for me, I think at the heart of what I said yesterday was like, you know, most of us are like so mission oriented, but we don't spend enough time being message oriented. So what happens is that the match doesn't happen. And so there's a distance between how much we do with our mission because our message hasn't been clarified, because people don't understand. They won't say yes, will they? So that's what I do. I help you to make it easy for people to understand. So they're like, oh my God, I gotta have it.
I love it. Because here's the thing, and you know, we say this on the show all the time. We say this, you know, to my clients. You'll say this to your clients all the time. Confused people don't buy. And if you are putting out a message that isn't straight to the point, that is clear, that makes it really understandable what it is that you do. Say you go into a networking meeting and you stand up and you kind of say, oh, this is what I do, and people go, what is it?
Say, oh, that sounds interesting, but they just did not get what you did.
So they can't connect with it and see if they need you.
Yeah, they don't instantly get you. I remember when I was at an event, and I was literally, this was like 4 years after I'd become a coach, and you know, I was still in that place where I was still passionate and, like, you know, I wasn't getting it, but I was like still optimistic, like it will happen for me, you know.
Yeah.
You know, at the beginning you're still quite resilient, can't you? Like, you know, you keep going. The passion of having discovered being a coach keeps you going for a while, doesn't it? You know what I mean? When you discover this world. We've all had that thing, haven't we, when we discovered this world. And so we were literally put on stage and said, oh, whoever's a life coach, come on stage. I was like, okay, I'll come on. You know me? And then it was like, by the way, we're just going to go around and find out like what specifically you do in as a life coach. And I was like, shit, why did I jump on this, jump on live, because jump on stage? I was like, I have no idea. And I was literally, and I was thinking, oh my God, there was a few. So I was like, okay, that's good. I've got a bit of time. I was like, come on, Sham, like, think. What's your specialism? Like,
love it.
I was literally having a mini panic attack. And then it was like, when it was my turn, I was like, oh, okay, I just literally worked. I was like, people usually say I'm very positive. So I was like, okay, hi. And I was very calm. And I was like, yeah, I'm a positive mindset coach. And, you know, I just did a little spiel around what a positive mindset coach would do. And there was it. I'd worked out my specialism on the spot.
And sometimes when you put your back against the wall like that, you are forced into, you're forced into, exactly that, into choosing.
Ride it. So pick a horse. And then, so, you know, back then I didn't know about 5-day challenges or 3-day challenges. So I thought, oh, how about a 50-day challenge?
Bloody hell. That's commitment from everybody there.
Yeah, so it was a 50-day positivity challenge. And then by the end, I got very burnt out and I wasn't very positive. And that's
I'm not
as positive as I thought. Maybe that's not my niche. And so then I went out searching again for another niche. Well, anyway, and then 4 years later, I guess, you know, another 6 years later, I think I actually worked out my main niche. It's been a struggle, piecemealing everything together, and I got very sick doing it. And I think that's what my story is about.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in just a second, because when we do these things to ourselves, like we realize that we want to work within the service industry, we know we've got skills where we can help people. We know we can help people break through, and those light bulb moments are what we live for, right? With hearing people and the incredible breakthroughs that they have when they have that light bulb moment, when they either, you know, they nail the message, or for me, like they nail it on stage, or they go to a networking meeting, they stand up and they pitch, and it's like, yes, and they have these incredible breakthroughs.
Owned it. It's such a great feeling. I mean, our work is worked very hand in hand in that sense. It's like, we get this clear, you take it to the stage, you know, you take it to the world, you spread that message.
But we live for these breakthroughs, but when like you said, when we first start out, it is difficult for the clicks in the lock to happen so that you can really stand on your feet and say, this is who I am in this space. I can take up space in this space now because I'm so confident and clear in who I am. You going
100%.
through all of that stands you in such a space of expertise when you start to do that work with your clients, right? You've been through the lowest of the low with finding this. Like when you're trying to find yourself, like you said, you plow yourself into the ground because you're confused and they're confused and we're all confused, but you're still working because you still got your bills to pay, you still got money to make.
Still try and like just take on. The thing is, you end up having to settling for less. Like you'll just take on a client.
Anything.
Yeah, you'll just take on, but you then afterwards you're like, you it doesn't pull at your heartstrings. It doesn't set you on fire. It doesn't, or it's not the person. You're like, okay, well, gosh, this is a tough client, but I'll keep going. We've all had ones like that where it doesn't absolutely energize us. And so what I do is I help people to find what I call it their multi-orgasmic niche. So
I'm here for it.
I know. So it's like, you're turned on by the person, not literally, but like, turned on by the person turned on by the person that you're working with. You're turned on by the very thing that you help them achieve. You're turned on by the specialism that you use. You're turned on by the vehicle that you're using to deliver, like whether that's through training or presentations, or whether that is through, doing, RTT or whatever it is, like the vehicle through which you're getting them the result, the way, the how, you get them the result. Every piece of what you do, you're absolutely lit up by. And this is what people say that I've worked with, I've already like invested in a $5,000 coach and I'm still not clear. And I'm still, they say that I'm clear, but they're not aligned. And I think that's what I do. Somehow that's why I call myself the intuitive niche, because I somehow intuitively tap into the niche that they're meant for, which, and that sets them on, that makes them feel so energized and excited. That is the excitement that they bring to their message. Because I remember reading a lady's message who came to me to work with me, and she goes, I'm not clear about about what I'm doing. And so I looked at her website. I was like, you're pretty clear, by the way. Your clarity is not an issue, but is your heart in it? That's why you're not. And she was a marketing person. I was like, that's why you're not putting your stuff out there, because your heart's not in it.
Right.
This is not that's aligned to your true purpose. So that's what I'm able to do. I'm kind of like able to channel that and able to. So I've got this mixture of channeling their purpose with the ability to articulate it, and then the combination is a winning one.
And it is, and what a skill to have to be able to, reading energies is an important thing. And I think when you can have that conversation with a client and see that their heart there's a difference between wanting your business to do well and having your heart right in the middle of it. If I look at the work that I do, I jump out of bed every morning to come and do this show. I don't get paid to do this show. I jump out of bed every morning and do it. Yeah, for sure, 100%. If I look at the way that I show up on the internet, then I get to show up for my clients. My clients then get to see how energized I am. They get to
that's what makes you magnetic, Dani. You wouldn't be Dani if you're passionate behind all of this. That's what makes the messaging, or your message makes it magnetic, because of the passion that goes behind, the heart that goes. It's not just passion, it's your soul. It's part of your story, isn't it? So much of your story is connected to why you're doing what you're doing. And I think it just makes it more meaningful. And that's what I want to see, people that make what they've been through, make it mean something. Turn your message into your message, basically. I know that's not my term, but it's basically what I do. It's like and that's what I've been able to do. I've turned my 10 years of struggle, stress of not being able to work things out, and it eventually just made me bedridden for nearly 2 years, like over 2 years. So but I say there's always a gift in every situation. We all know that, don't we? Like, we've been through our hardships, but it's so long as we can, as what Natasha has been saying, turn that lemon into lemonade. And then chuck some gin in there. Throw all of it in there. It makes it worthwhile, knowing that we can make a difference with what we've been through.
Yeah, absolutely. So Shamoni, tell me, you said you burnt out to a place where you were bedridden for 2 years. You were you were stuck, so stuck that you were physically stuck.
Yeah, absolutely physically stuck. I mean,
tell us a little bit
think
more
a
about
part of me
that.
was like, I just had enough, because it'd been like 8 years since working out as a coach. I tried different things, but I could never really make it work enough to kind of like, obviously, pay the bills, and I for a while I was still in my my day job, as you call it, but it wasn't making me happy at all. And I remember in 2014 I was getting just, I'd worked out a few months before that I want to help people with their purpose. So I thought, oh, that's it. And I had a bunch of followers from it, but couldn't really monetize it properly.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure where to start. And I think that's a lot of coaches. They've got the passion, but their passion is turning into fireworks out because they don't know how to channel it or monetize it. And so that's what was happening after a while. And I was like, I remember going through a huge depression. I was like, oh my gosh, like I must just not be smart enough to work this all out. It's been many years now. It's so embarrassing. I can't even tell anybody. I can't even do free sessions because it's been so many years. Like, I have to pretend like what I mean?
Yeah, you've got to have progressed. Like when we first start, we do these sort of testimonial sessions, or power hours, or things like that to build it up.
Do that now. Like, so I was just in this place of being completely stuck, and then eventually, it wasn't the corona. It was another virus which took me down, and then. I was down for like, I was really, really sick for like nearly first 9 months, and just really, really, really unwell, and all sorts of crazy symptoms, skin burning, my spine, like fluid filling up in my spine, just bedridden, couldn't move, muscle weakness, all kinds of stuff, couldn't walk. Anyway, but then I did recover, because I worked out what it is that I wanted to do I worked out who I wanted to help. So I knew that now what I wanted to do, which was purpose, but I couldn't monetize it. Then I was like, oh, I wanted to, it took me a while to realize that I hadn't actually got clear about who I wanted to help. So when I got clear when I was sitting, lying down.
You've got a lot of time to think there. You kind of led there, right?
I was like, oh, I wanted to help change makers, because if I'm able to help change makers, they can make their change. And, we get to have this ripple of change. And so I came back and started this events in business, where it was like monthly events, get great speakers, a place where, change makers could come together to support each other with their purpose, mission, and vision. That took off. But imagine I'm just the only person trying to promote, and didn't really have a big team. It was just pretty much me, and it just burnt me out. So New Year's Eve, 2017 New Year's Eve, back of the car, have a back to family meal, and then bam, I nearly collapsed. And then pretty much didn't. It wasn't for too long, but I did. And then afterwards, I thought I was going to get up, but that was like months and months and months and months and months. But at this time, it was far worse than the first round.
Right.
And then a year came, and still nothing had changed. And then my muscles started changing. My skin started, going bizarre consistency. Muscles inside started crumbling. It was like as if it was just really scary. And I just thought, well, nah, I just don't want to live anymore. I really wanted to pack it in by that time. But it was a really hard time, and I spoke about, because my skin started changing, I had visibility issues for a while from bullying, school, being overweight, and I had like an abusive background where I was made like mocked for the way I different parts of my body. So I had a lot of stuff around visibility. So now when my skin and my muscles were all crumbling and looking weird, and it was like so devastating for me, because it was like old wounds that hadn't really been, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That it really, but then I say that, it's always when you're about to give up, you're always about 3 feet from gold. And that's what happened.
That's it. It's darkest just before dawn and all that. And the thing is,
changed when
I was going to say, your physical appearance, everybody's physical appearance, not just your physical appearance, has such an impact on how we want to show up in the world.
100%. It makes such a big difference. I think which is why I think, work that Natasha does is great. Like, right now in UUA, Ultimate Up Level Academy, we've got authentic visibility. It's about showing up as yourself is a really important part. But what really changed the game for me is when I realized when I was just helping a friend who also went through 7 years of burnout. And I talk about this in the book a bit more in the chapter, but it's when I got to help them, like without any pressure, like not as a client, just as a friend. And I didn't have to think about money or anything. Yeah. And then like instantly, he said he already paid 13 grand to a coach, and 6 months and he still wasn't clear. And I was like, well, I can help you. I got a feeling I can help you.
Yeah.
Even while I was in bed, I was like, I can handle a phone call. And then before you know it, he started having more leads, and that's 500, 600 extra leads, more clients. He showed up with more confidence. It's been like your stuff when the people will work with you, they show up in confidence on stage. He was just like absolutely showing up, and people were like, whatever he's having, I'm having. And then literally that month, 8 people literally saw what he was doing. And literally 8 out of 8 people said yes to me, and I had a 10K month.
Amazing.
I was like, wow. And then that led to 100K year, and it's been 3 6-figure plus 6-figure years since that time. And this is where I am today. And today I'm an international bestseller. So it's worked out okay at the end.
Yeah, and we've got when we experience that sort of stuff, it does make an impact on how we protect ourselves as well. So if you think about what those couple of years, and you were poorly and physically poorly, how do you protect yourself from that now? Because they're often ghosts that haunt us. I have issues with some autoimmune stuff. I have some issues.
I've had autoimmune myself.
Yeah. How do you protect yourself?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I think this is where, like last year, I was burning out. It'd be good days, and then it would be like, again, another crash. And I was like, this is starting to get ridiculous. And I went into a bit of a dark space this time last year. And that's when I'd been seeing Natasha, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to really do the deeper healing now.
Yeah.
And I have to say that the first therapy session that I had with her was just like, I realized that there was a lot of hurt and pain and trauma that I held on from a decade of abuse that I went through, that I never really, I kind of worked with here and there, and maybe worked with a few people, but no one when I worked with Natasha, it honestly can say I remember I felt like I vomited this energy from my throat. It was energetic vomit.
Yeah.
Nice, but it felt like this energetic vomit, meaning there was, because all that stuff that I did, I held it. So
you hold it physically. Yeah, for sure.
I remember it gave me such so much more energy and more life force. And I remember I also started working with Sky Barber that month together. She was like this healing mother, like mama hen, that loving, caring, and the two of them just, I don't know, that month I had a 14K month, and then I had an 18K month, and I had a 10K, 15K day, 25, then I had my first 20K month, and things just took off. And I've had exhaustion, a bit of here and there, we get tired. I have gone down to that level since that time, and it's been over a year now, and so I would say that I do things to now do the work that I love only, and not take on anybody, use my intuition even more. So if I feel someone's energetically not right, if I had to turn down money, even thousands of pounds, thinking this person, just sensing,
if it doesn't sit right, then it's not going to be good for either of you, is the thing, isn't it? When you, and I love this aspect of sort of soul aligned clients that you help your clients attract. It's this, when you sit in a joy space with a client, you are vibing off each other, you're doing the incredible work, you're in flow, you're allowing flow. If you're 100%. Not, and it's very difficult when you first start out, isn't it? Like you said earlier on in the conversation. You don't even know so you're kind of sort of grating at this. And as we move on in business, you realize that actually saying no becomes a superpower in that situation. And it's why it's really good to have other people in your circle who do a similar thing to you, where you can say, do you know what? We're not a great fit. I don't think we're a fit. And it's okay. That's totally cool. However, you want to go and see my girl over here who's she is absolutely smashing in this space. And I think it's surrounding yourself with people who are really great as well. Because there's 7.5 billion people in the world. And we can't also, it's a lot of people.
And there's room for everybody, and and then everybody's story counts, and no one is going to you help people with their clarity on their message as well, and someone's just going to resonate with you so much more than me. I mean, it's just the way it is. You know, your
Yeah.
story or where they are in your life and what you know, it's just someone's gonna need to hear it from you. Then
Right.
even if they're doing something similar, they're gonna need to hear it from you, aren't they? For
Yeah,
it to really
absolutely.
hit home. Yeah.
And in the same way, someone I'm going to come across is going to need to hear it from you. And like, having you in my circle, I'm like, you need to go see my girl Shamoni, because she's actually got this piece even stronger than I have. Like, you want to go and see her. And that's how this community, this wider online community,
Exactly.
should
We're
be
here to
working
lift and
now.
climb with each other. And I think
Yeah.
that's the message. And that's what we've done, I think, with this whole book, which
Yeah.
I really hope, you know, more, we've already hit bestseller, but, you know, it's already still supporting, you know, NAPAC and childhood people, survivors of child abuse. So, you know, it would be really great for people to go out there, you know, be inspired by the stories, continue to be inspired by those stories. And I have to go read those stories myself, because we've just been on it trying to get everyone's stuff in. So it'd be nice for us to now be, you know, the receiving end of some of those stories as well. I really want to. We've already connected so much with the girls, but it'll be nice. And that's the thing about stories, it connects everyone with who they really are rather than what we think they are. Do you see what I mean? Like, we get to hear it from you, like who you are, rather than who I think you are, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And, you know, having been a part of collaboration books and coordinated collaboration books, the bonds that you create when you go through that process are just so strong. They are amazing. For people who are struggling with their messaging, for people who are struggling with their niche, and it gets bandied around so much. And for people who struggle with that, what would the first step be in trying to start to uncover and untangle some of that?
Yeah. So I think the first biggest advice I would say to people is that going against traditional marketing advice, we're always, the first thing that we're told in marketing is that work out who it is that you help. That's the first place it's got to be. And I would say no. No. Yeah.
Are you listening?
That's the worst piece of advice I can give you, because I would say, when you're trying to market, then work out who. When you're trying to get clarity, don't start with your who. There's a distinction, because what happens when we're trying to work out who first, we work out what they want. And when we try to work out what they want, niching becomes a very outward in approach. We start, because that person wants 10 different things.
Right. And sometimes that person doesn't know what they want either.
They don't even know what they want. So, you know, you spread yourself too thin trying to work out what they want, and you drown out your own noise of what lights you up. Right. So I would say the very first thing is not about what they want, and don't start asking for feedback, and don't start asking what your niche and your audience wants. It's going to get you more confused and have more clarity. Start with you. I always say we'll do more for our purpose than we'll do for a person.
Right.
And so tap into where it is that you really want to take people. Because when the destination you really want to see people, where can you see people go? Because I remember I asked myself when I was really struggling, what is it that I'm uniquely qualified to do? What is it that, you know, that I want to see people have that will light me up? And I realized it was that day when I discovered coaching, and how like lit up and like buzz. I literally looked like I was on something. There's no doubt. And I remember about a few months ago, I met someone who I'd met like 10 years ago at that event. He said, you stood out. And I was like, I bet I did. I literally looked like I was on something. I want people to feel that way when they discover like what they're meant to do, like totally lit up. And so like it's got to come from what lights you up, because guess what? When we explain where we want to take people, then those people who want to go there come to us. No convincing needed. You know, you want to go there, I take you there. I love taking you there. Let's go. You know, and the second thing is about what's that cool way you do it. You know, what's your special way to get there? Because 10 other people are taking people to helping them own the stage. Okay. Yeah. But Dani is doing it in this special way. Yes, that no one else is doing it. Same with messaging, and I'm doing it through this intuitive niching where we get nailing the niche so good that the message absolutely becomes bang on the money. Yeah, you know, I'm doing that differently than everyone else. So what's your special way to get there? So those are the two. Then now work out who needs this special way of doing it, and who also wants to go there, and who's also struggling with doing it that way, who's struggling to do it this way, and who's struggling to get there that way. I have like most of the people who I talk to, of course, not you know, I had 8 out of 8 first time round as 100% conversion, but I mean, obviously I don't have 100% conversion every time, but I have a very small list, Dani, and really small list, really small group, but it's, you know, it's creating multi 6 figures simply because most of them are struggling with the very thing that I help them with, and they're struggling with that niche piece, which is my middle piece, and they're struggling with standing out or getting or whatever, the end piece, so it becomes a great fit. So that's the first thing I'd say. Don't go with the person, go inwards, get clear about what's that place that you want to take people to. And a really good clue is, which I'll leave you with, is that the place you want to take people to and the way you want to help people, like the special way that you help them and the struggle that, you know, you help them with, just think about what it is that you epitomize. What's that place you now have been? Yes, because you want to be a few steps ahead, don't you, with the people that you help. So where it is have you achieved that you now want to help others have as well?
Right.
And get that clear, get your special way clear, get the problems that, you know, that people are having with this special way and the end result, and you've got a winning combination. That's the place that you start to inside in approach rather than outside in approach. So that's my
and phenomenal advice there, Shamoni. Phenomenal advice, and the light bulbs are popping off in the comments, which I love about this show is when we have incredible people like Shamoni coming on and sharing these golden bits of advice for you. You know, often we look at you know, coaches and the things that people when they start this business journey, they're like niche, like that's okay, but what lights you up first? Like, what are you going to get out of bed? You can niche. Like, I could help people sell papers. I don't really want to help people sell papers. So like, what?
Aligned niche, a niche that, you know, like I said, you know, go out there and find your multi-orgasmic niche. If it doesn't turn you on, don't settle, you know.
Amazing. Well, Shamoni, for everybody that's watching out there, how do we find out more about you and the incredible work that you do?
Sure. Well, thank you so much, Dani, first and foremost. I've absolutely had a ball on this show. I love your energy. Hope we get to connect more, and maybe one day or soon I'll get to interview you in my group, you know.
I'd love that.
But in the meantime, I think my group is a really great place for people to go, because that's where my Facebook group, because that's a great place where, you know, I, you know, share stuff around niching, messaging all the time. That's all I do. Like I say to people, most business coaches and marketing coaches are doing niche as part of something that they do. That's their side dish. It's my main dish.
Right.
We go there deep, okay? We deep dish on it. So they can go to a group called Neo in your niche. So Neo in your niche. So it's basically NEO in your niche. Neo as in the Matrix. You know, in the Matrix, the Neo. So I want you to be the one they go to.
Love
That's
it.
the idea. And,
I love it.
Also, you can go to my website, which is shamonigilani.com. Either way, you can get in touch with me, and I'll be absolutely happy to, you know, help anybody who's it's my life's calling. And for me, I never want to see anybody go through what I went through. I say, don't do the 10 years. I say, don't do the 10 years that I've had to do for you. Okay, you don't have to do that. It's not worth it, love, because there's people waiting for your transformation. So don't spend that time figuring it out. Get out there, get clear, and get paid.
Amazing. Shamoni, thank you so much for coming onto the show this morning. It's been an absolute pleasure. That's Neo in your niche for everybody that's wanting to get involved in Shamoni's world, and you should, because she's incredible, and find out more about all the incredible things that she gets up to. Thank you for joining us on the show. Wise Advice Show.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Bye, everyone.
What an incredible human being. You know, it's part of the course of this show, I know, but having people like Shamoni in the world who help people with their niche in such a way really does amplify what you then go on to be capable of in your business. And that's whether the niche is you or whether the niche is the person. You know, if we look at how broad this incredible community is, you know, we're all coming together because we like the vibe, right? So getting that right, coming from the inside out, what an incredible theory on getting that sussed and sorted. So go and find out more about the incredible Shamoni and what she does. Neo in your niche is what you want to be putting into the search bar up in Facebook over there. And I will see you bright and breezy at 9:30 on Monday for more Showing Up, Rising Up and Rising Up. Are we rising up and rising up? We're rising up while we're at it as well. I don't know why my mouth's not working today properly, but it's all good. I'm going to give myself it. I'm going to allow myself it. It's Friday. Shake your bums, you lot. Let me know how you're getting on in your lives and your businesses over in the IATQB Hive. It's spelled IATQB. It stands for I am the Queen Bee. I am the Queen Bee. As are you, or the King Bee, or the Royal Bee, or the Sovereign Bee. However you identify, you are most welcome here. I will see you at 9:30 on Monday morning. Tra.